Keto headaches can feel like your brain is wrapped in cotton and your temples are pulsing. And the frustrating part is that you can be eating perfect keto and still get them. In most cases, the fast fix isn't more fat or more willpower. It's electrolytes, specifically the balance between sodium, potassium, and magnesium. When you cut carbs, insulin drops, your kidneys release more sodium, and water follows it out. That sounds simple, but it creates a chain reaction. Less fluid volume, less sodium, and then potassium and magnesium shift too. The result can be headache, dizziness, fatigue, and that wired but tired feeling. The goal is to restore balance, not to chug random supplements. In the next few minutes, we'll learn the most common electrolyte mistakes that keep headaches coming back, and the practical steps that usually help people feel better quickly. Start with the basics, then fine-tune based on your symptoms. Moving to slide 2. Here's the core mechanism in plain language. Carbs hold water in your body because glycogen, stored carbohydrate, binds water. When you reduce carbs, glycogen drops, and you lose that water. At the same time, lower insulin tells the kidneys to excrete more sodium. Water follows sodium, so you pee more, especially early on. That's why many people see the scale drop fast, but it's mostly water. The downside is that your blood volume can dip a bit, and your head notices. Less circulating volume can mean lower pressure and less steady blood flow, which can feel like a dull headache or lightheadedness. This is also why standing up quickly can make you feel off. The fix is not to push through. It's to replace what you're losing in the right order. Sodium first, then potassium and magnesium as supporting players. Get the order wrong and you can chase symptoms for days. Moving to slide 3. Mistake number 1 is undersalting because you're still thinking in low-salt diet rules. On keto, many people need more sodium than they expect because they're losing more of it. A classic pattern is you drink more water to help the headache, but you don't add sodium. That can dilute what's left and make you feel worse. A simple, fast step many people try is a salty drink, water with a measured pinch of salt or a salty broth. The point is sodium plus fluid together. If the headache is from low sodium and low volume, this often helps within an hour or two. You're not trying to make it taste like the ocean. You're trying to replace a real loss. If you're active, sweat a lot, or drink lots of coffee, your sodium needs can be higher. And if you're eating mostly unprocessed foods, you may be getting very little sodium by default. Moving to slide 4. Mistake number 2 is relying on electrolyte products that are basically flavored water. Many mixes look impressive, but the sodium is tiny, sometimes closer to what you'd find in a snack, not what you lose on keto. Then you take one serving, feel no change, and assume electrolytes aren't the issue. Another trap is sugar-free sports drinks that focus on taste, not mineral amounts. If you're trying to troubleshoot headaches, you need to check the label for actual milligrams of sodium, potassium, and magnesium. Sodium is usually the big lever early on. Potassium matters too, but in most cases you don't want to slam huge potassium doses from supplements. Magnesium is often underdosed in drinks because it can affect taste and digestion. So think of many electrolyte drinks as electrolyte hints. They can be useful, but only if the amounts match your needs. Labels beat marketing words every time. Moving to slide 5. Mistake number 3 is drinking a lot more water without matching electrolytes. It's common to hear, drink more water for headaches. But on keto, the issue is often water plus minerals, not water alone. If you keep flushing your system with plain water, you can feel foggy, headachy, and even nauseated. Think of sodium as the key that helps your body hold on to the water you drink. Without enough sodium, water passes through quickly. A practical approach is to spread fluids through the day and pair at least some of them with sodium, like salted broth, salted water, or salty foods. If you're peeing clear constantly and still feel dry or headachy, that's a clue you might be undersalted. Also pay attention to thirst signals. Some people overdrink out of fear of dehydration. Hydration is retention, not just intake. The goal is steady, comfortable hydration that doesn't feel like a constant flush. Moving to slide 6. Now let's talk potassium, because this is where people often overcorrect. Potassium is essential for nerve signaling and muscle function, and low potassium can contribute to fatigue, weakness, cramps, and sometimes headaches. but the safest long-term strategy is usually food-first potassium, not megadose supplements. On keto, good potassium sources include avocado, leafy greens, mushrooms, and certain fish. The mistake is thinking, if sodium helps, potassium must help more, and then taking large supplemental doses quickly. That can be risky for some people, especially if you have kidney issues or take certain medications. Instead, aim for steady potassium intake across meals. Also remember the balance. If you raise sodium, you still want adequate potassium from food to keep the ratio healthy. If your headache improves with sodium, but you still feel muscle heaviness, cramps, potassium might be the missing piece. But treat it like a dial you turn slowly. Moving to slide 7. Magnesium is the quiet helper that many keto people miss. It's involved in muscle relaxation, sleep quality, and nervous system regulation. When magnesium is low, you can feel tight muscles, twitching, restless sleep, and a headache that feels like tension. The mistake is assuming you'll get enough magnesium from a standard multivitamin or from food alone, especially if your diet is limited. Another mistake is taking a form that doesn't agree with you, then quitting entirely. Some magnesium types are more likely to cause digestive upset, while others are often better tolerated. The goal is consistency, not a huge one-time dose. If your headaches show up with poor sleep or neck and shoulder tightness, magnesium may be part of your solution. Also, magnesium works best when sodium is already adequate. Think of sodium as the foundation, potassium as the balance partner, and magnesium as the stabilizer that smooths out the edges. Small, steady improvements matter here. Moving to slide 8. Let's build a fast troubleshooting sequence you can use when a keto headache hits. Step 1. Ask, did I salt my food enough in the last 24 hours? If not, start there. Step 2. Combine sodium with fluid. Broth is a simple option. Then wait and reassess. Step 3. If you're drinking a lot of plain water, pause the constant sipping and switch some of that intake to salted fluids. Step 4. Check whether you've been sweating, exercising, or in heat. Those conditions can multiply sodium losses fast. Step 5. If sodium helps but you still feel cramps or heavy legs, add potassium-rich foods with meals. And step 6. If sleep has been light or you feel tight and twitchy, consider magnesium consistency over the next few days. This is a sequence because it prevents random guessing. Many headaches improve when you correct sodium and fluid first. Then you fine-tune with potassium and magnesium based on what your body is signaling. Moving to slide 9. Another electrolyte mistake is ignoring where your sodium is coming from. If your keto diet is built around whole foods, meat, eggs, vegetables, you may be getting almost no sodium unless you add it. Processed foods hide sodium, but whole foods don't. That's why two people can both be keto, yet one feels great and the other has headaches. The first person might be eating salty cheese, cured meats, or packaged keto snacks. The second person might be eating very clean but undersalted. The fix is simple. Salt your meals intentionally, and don't rely on accidental sodium. Broth can help, but it's not the only tool. Salt your eggs, salt your meat, salt your vegetables. If you're tracking, track sodium for a week, just to learn your baseline. Then you can stop tracking and go by how you feel. The goal is a repeatable routine, not a daily guessing game. Moving to slide 10. Let's separate caffeine headaches from electrolyte headaches, because they can overlap. If you cut carbs and also cut coffee, you might be dealing with caffeine withdrawal. That often feels like a deep, persistent headache that doesn't budge much with salt. On the other hand, if you keep caffeine high while you're losing fluid, caffeine can add to the dehydration effect for some people, especially if you're sensitive. The electrolyte clue is this. If a salty drink and a bit of rest noticeably improve things, electrolytes were likely a big factor. If the headache is stubborn and you recently changed caffeine habits, consider that as a variable. Another clue is timing. Electrolyte headaches often show up after a night of sleep, after exercise, or after several hours of low-salt eating. Caffeine headaches often follow a missed usual dose. The fix isn't extreme, it's consistency, steady caffeine habits, and steady electrolytes, so your nervous system isn't getting hit from two directions at once. Moving to slide 11. Exercise changes everything because sweat is an electrolyte leak. If you're lifting, running, doing hot yoga, or working in heat, you can lose a lot of sodium quickly. The mistake is replacing sweat with plain water, or only with a low-sodium drink. That can set you up for a headache later in the day, even if you felt fine during the workout. Another mistake is waiting until you feel bad to replace electrolytes. A better approach is proactive. Salt your pre-workout meal and have a plan for sodium and fluids afterward. If you're prone to cramps, include potassium-rich foods at meals and keep magnesium consistent. Also, pay attention to the day-after effect. Some people wake up with a headache the morning after a hard session because the losses weren't replaced. You don't need a complicated protocol, you need a repeatable one. Salt, fluid, and then food-based potassium and steady magnesium. That's what keeps training from turning into a headache trigger. Moving to slide 12. Here's a practical way to use symptoms to guide the electrolyte you focus on, without overthinking it. If your headache comes with dizziness on standing, low energy, and frequent urination, think sodium and fluid first. If you also have muscle cramps, weakness, or a heavy legs feeling, think potassium from food as a next step. If the headache feels like tension, with tight shoulders, twitching, or poor sleep, magnesium consistency may help. If you feel puffy, or your rings feel tight after adding lots of salt, you may have overshot. Back off slightly and spread sodium across meals instead of taking it all at once. The mistake is treating electrolytes like a single number you hit once. Your needs change with heat, stress, sleep, and activity, so use a feedback loop. Adjust one variable, wait, and reassess. That's how you get fast relief and long-term stability. And it keeps you from stacking 3 supplements and not knowing what worked. Moving to slide 13. Let's cover a few less obvious mistakes that keep headaches lingering. One is going very low-calorie while starting keto. When you eat less overall, you often get less sodium, less potassium, and less magnesium, so the deficit stacks. Another is skipping meals and then trying to catch up with a big electrolyte drink. Your body tends to do better with smaller, regular inputs. Another is ignoring digestion. If you're having diarrhea from certain sweeteners or too much fat too fast, you can lose fluids and electrolytes quickly. That can trigger headaches even if your intake looks good on paper. Also, alcohol is a common hidden factor. It increases fluid loss and can disrupt sleep, which makes headaches more likely. None of this means you can't do keto. It means the context matters. If headaches keep returning, look at calories, meal timing, digestion, and alcohol as multipliers. Fixing electrolytes works best when these multipliers are under control. Moving to slide 14. So what does a fast and realistic electrolyte strategy look like? Think in layers. Layer 1 is daily sodium habits. Salt your meals and consider a salty broth or salted water when symptoms show up. Layer 2 is potassium from food at most meals. Avocado, greens, mushrooms, so you're not depending on supplements. Layer 3 is magnesium consistency, especially if sleep and muscle tension are part of your pattern. Then, layer 4 is context. Increase sodium around workouts, heat, and heavy sweating. The big mistake is treating electrolytes like an emergency tool only. They work best as a baseline routine that prevents the headache from starting. If you want a simple self-check, ask, did I have something salty, something potassium-rich, and a magnesium plan this week? If not, that's your starting point. Before you go, I want one quick data point from you. In the comments, which is harder for you on keto, getting enough sodium or getting enough magnesium, A or B? And if you want more scripts like this, subscribe. This information is not a substitute for medical advice. Stabilize glucose. Unlock real energy.